Well, hey guys, I've been working on these thoughts and tips for over a year, and I wanted to share them now on the channel. We're encroaching 10,000 views. So I'm relatively rich, and this video is going to be all about how to get rich. Now, most people are richer than me that I know, and our needs are provided for as a family, and I've spent a ton of time with rich people, which is why I want to share this idea with you. I want to share my 11 principles to be rich and to be effective, really, because I see so much nonsense out there. I see so many people leading others astray, in my opinion. Now, the bugs are out here. It's Minnesota. It's not going to be that great standing out here. I was just out front trying this, and it didn't work so well. Now, if I were you, I'd be asking, so is this guy rich, and why would I listen to him? And I'd say that I'm not a filthy rich person, but I'm a successful entrepreneur that helps other businesses in their taxes, wealth, and business growth. Now, I've been lucky to have one thing that the average person does not have, and that's that my first business was growing a tax and accounting firm that helped small businesses. Now, I was a strategic tax planner with my partners and the core business developer for that tax firm. And after getting it to a great place, I ended up stepping out as the business owner, and I handed it over and sold it out to my partners. Or basically moved on to my next endeavor with a great amount of opportunity. Man, the mosquitoes are bad out here. So while I'm successful and have a decent amount of wealth for my being 37 years old, my main advice here about being rich and getting rich is a little bit from my experience, but also we're heading in a direction, right? And this is about the rich people that I've been mentored with, or the people that I've done tax planning for, the inside perspective that I've gotten as a consultant into wealthy people as an investment advisor. So with that, I want to be humble about this. This isn't like I've got this all figured out, but these are things that I have noticed, I have seen, and I'm telling you, this is like the secret 11 things to becoming rich and building wealth. We're going to hit on a bunch of different things. I'm telling you, this is going to be helpful. And that's my heart. I just want to help you move upward and forward. I want to help people build businesses. I want to help empower them to become all they can be, right? So right off the bat, I want to admit that I believe that it's incredibly difficult to give advice about how to get rich from the perspective of just being an employee, right? Now, I've worked with plenty of middle America people that have earned between $80,000 and $250,000 a year, which here in the Twin Cities is a decent wage. But I want to talk about what it would become to become really wealthy and with a different lifestyle. The clients I've worked with that are truly wealthy are not employees of anyone in their business or in anybody else's business, but they're business owners and they're investors. The first thing to do to become rich is to learn the cash flow quadrant and shift from being an employee to being an investor and a business owner. This is huge. Robert Kiyosaki has a book called The Cash Flow Quadrant, and I found this to be true, and I myself have lived this out and seen this lived out with so many people. There are four types of business, or four types of incomes. It's E, B, S, and I. E for employee, S self-employed, B as business owner, and I as investor. Now, as an employee, that means that you have a job. There's no leverage, and this is where you trade hours in for dollars out. You have a salary or a wage, and you need to put in the work for the income. When you're self-employed, there's still no leverage. It's still a time in equals money out, but it's basically a job with higher margins than being just a regular employee. You have some flexibility and some tax write-offs, some benefits there. Now, as a business owner, you get other people's time and other people's money to work for you to produce income. The business owner creates a system, and then they organize others to use the system to create wealth. There's big time leverage here because you'll be using other people's time and money to create wealth for yourself. Now, as an investor, you take it up another level. Your wealth, again, doesn't rely on your own time, time in and money out, but that means your leverage. But here you're part of the investor class where you buy other people's systems to work for you. You're buying other businesses to work for you or other assets to work for you. Leverage is when other people's time or other people's money starts producing income and profits for you. It's a multiplier on your own resources and time and money. Rich people are investors and business owners, and kind of in the self-employed realm too. If you want to be rich, your goal needs to be to become a business owner and an investor. That's where all the wealth that I've seen that's meaningful comes from. That's the first thing you gotta understand. The richest people that I know are people that have shifted over into the business owner and investor quadrants out of being just an employee. And they realize that other people's time, money, and systems can create wealth for themselves. They have reached this place where their system works for them and they participate in the business because they love it and they want to add value, not because they're required to do all the work so that they get money out. So that's the first thing. Get leverage as a business owner and eventually as an investor. But to get there, you'll have to climb what's called the entrepreneur ladder. And I think this is out of the E-Myth book. So number two, or the second thing that you'll need to do to get rich, is to climb the entrepreneur ladder. In order to head up to becoming a business owner, an entrepreneur, you'll need to climb a ladder. You don't just get there overnight. You have to put in some work, and there's kind of a process to this. The E-Myth says that there's 3 stages. You're a technician, a manager, and then finally an entrepreneur. Technician, manager, entrepreneur. You start out as self-employed, which is the technician. Then you get some people to work alongside you and you manage others, which provides you leverage in your wealth building, and that's becoming a manager. And then you'll develop systems and empower other people to work for you so that the business operations happen without you. You don't have to do all the work. You're not the one at the center of everything. The goal is to build a system that leverages other people's time to accomplish the work, which is what this leverage idea is all about. And that's the ladder: technician, manager, and then eventual entrepreneur. But that's all about systems and empowerment. You'll want to get to the point where you're a true entrepreneur, but you almost always start out as the technician that's self-employed. So the second part of getting wealthy builds on the first. You'll need to shift into the business owner and investor quadrants, but the way that you climb there is through this entrepreneur ladder, being a technician, a manager, and an entrepreneur. And that ladder is gonna help you build wealth. And that means building systems and teams of other people and technology to accomplish things. Now, number 3, stay with me here. The third thing to do to get rich is to acquire the knowledge necessary to build a business. Rich people build businesses and are investors, right? That's what I keep saying. But they usually had to seek out that knowledge outside of the traditional education system. It's not something that K through 12 taught them. What do I mean? Well, most rich people are participating in businesses that no teacher or K through 12 education system led them onto. It was usually from on-the-job training and industry-specific competencies. Most of the wealthy people I know built their business because they got an insider understanding of the sector or the niche, and they got obsessed about ways to do it better, and then actually stepped out to do those things. One of the major barriers that you'll need to push through in order to become rich is to become aware and acquire the knowledge of different sectors and industries that have entrepreneurship opportunities. You simply don't know what you don't know. To become aware of the diverse sectors and industries in which people make money is going to be game changer, but you don't rely on K through 12 education or even college. You need to get starter jobs in those industries, and you also need to find mentors that will help you become aware of all the opportunities. Entrepreneurship is a catch-all term, but people do bizarre things for profits. They have businesses doing the strangest stuff. Sometimes they're plain, sometimes they're obscure. The major problem that keeps people poor or not getting into entrepreneurship is that they never learn what sectors, businesses, or activities are even possible to make profits. They simply don't even know it's a thing. I know very stupid people getting very rich because they found a niche or became aware of some sector where there was opportunity for high profits. People make money in all sorts of services, brokering relationships, niche industries, all sorts of things. The riches are in the niches. When you can find a niche or an obscure sector or just get insider knowledge about any industry, you're gonna be able to build a business. And our K through 12 education system, God bless them, they're great. They're great people, they're leaders, they're awesome, but they are systematically incapable of helping you identify and learn about these things. They're teachers. They walk that predictable, but noble, but predictable, kind of bubble-encased career path. They went to school, got good grades, went to college, got good grades, got their teacher's license, and then they work in the same system that gets good grades and teaches them and heads. They literally are kind of not even close to an entrepreneur. But I know a bunch of entrepreneurs that are teachers, and it's because they side hustle on the weekends or during the summer, and there's a ton there. But usually teachers and the education or K-12 system is not helpful in building wealth or helping you become aware of the opportunities in entrepreneurship. Just the entrepreneur opportunities, that's really all I'm talking about. You can't rely on teachers or formal education to help you know what kind of a business you can grow. They just don't know. You need to get firsthand experience in any industry, anything you're curious about. And you need to get perspective through books and mentors. That's gonna help big time. Get around people and read. Educators are great people, but in America, they are far from being entrepreneurs unless they use their summers and off time to run a business or manage their investments or do something like that. Our education system is meant to equip you with the fundamentals, but the best learning will be done outside of the classroom if you're intentional about it. That's where the best learning is. Many of the successful business owners that I work with were mediocre students, but they wanted to hustle and work with their hands, right? Rather than go to college, they took jobs in the industries that would provide them with the experience and perspective to eventually run their own shop. Now they have fleets of tractors building homes and digging basements. They have immense insurance brokerages, or they've built rental real estate empires just from hustling, or all sorts of property management and construction jobs or companies. My point is that you'll remain ignorant of all the entrepreneurship opportunities as long as you're relying on K-12 or even K-16 education. Rich people build businesses, they climb the entrepreneur ladder, and they acquire the knowledge that they need to figure out sectors to know where to build a business. So number 4, the next thing that rich people do or have done is that they get intentional about mentorship and pursuing mastery in their crafts. Mentorship and pursuing mastery. Rich business owners always pursue mastery. They're obsessed with becoming the best at something. They try to learn everything there is to learn about everything in their field. That doesn't mean they have to do it, but they learn about it. One of the keys in this is to find a mentor that can help you. A good mentor, either formal or informal, will provide you with the necessary perspective to pursue that mastery and even become aware of some of these secret niches and industry sectors that I keep talking about, right? A person's gonna be able to help you with that. Make it your goal to find people that can be your mentor in a formal way, or even just as an acquaintance that maybe you take out for coffee periodically to gain wisdom. You don't have to ask someone, will you be my mentor? They can be your mentor and not even know it. Coffee appointments are what have provided me with some of the most valuable perspective and ideas I ever had. I never told those people what I was doing, but by having coffee with hundreds of successful entrepreneurs over time, I've been able to render their advice and perspective into my own mind and become better for it. Find a business owner, maybe a leader, somebody at a company that's in the type of business that maybe you think would be fun to build, and just ask them great questions. Ask them for like a 1-hour coffee appointment. And tell them that you're fascinated with what they do for a living, you're fascinated about the sector and the business, and you'd love to hear the story and learn more. Come prepared with questions, a notepad, and your ability to listen intently. That's all you need. You gotta remember, if you do these types of meetings, this is not about you. It's about them. You need to get out of their mind what is valuable. So don't be a tool. Don't muck it up with your need for affirmation and attention and making things all about you. You want to find out their secrets, right? So the key here, don't talk that much when you're in these coffee meetings. Ask a bunch of questions. Take great notes. Try to get an understanding of the basics and the advanced nuances of their operations in their industry. Just listen, take notes, ask deeper and deeper questions. If you do that with 2 to 10 people this year, you're gonna be light years above where you are today. In fact, there's a huge difference between business owners that work hard to gain perspective from peers and other industry experts, and business owners that just think they know everything. So get perspective, get a mentor, and become obsessed with learning everything there is to know from wise people, especially if they've already gone down the business owner path. All right, so here's what we've got so far in summary, right? To get rich, You need to shift yourself from being just an employee to being a business owner and an investor so that you can leverage other people's time and money to create income for yourself. So to do that, you need to climb the entrepreneurship ladder from the E-Myth book, right? You start small, you build a team, and then build systems and empower people around you to accomplish work for you. And to be able to be an entrepreneur, you need to acquire the necessary knowledge, which is best done by taking a job in the industry that you want and then getting mentorship and perspective from other people in that industry. When you're doing that, you need to be pursuing mastery in that craft, and that'll help you mainly from doing self-learning, not so much from K through 12. Get perspective, try to learn from people that have accomplished what you want to accomplish. Find people that have been there and learn from them. So let's shift gears a little bit. Here's number 5. The rich people I've met don't spend their time on wasteful leisure. They don't waste their time on wasteful leisure. Sure, they refuel, they recharge, they take time off, but they spend their time wisely because they understand that time is the only true finite resource that we have. You want to be rich? Don't spend your precious time on nonsense. Rich people don't typically waste their precious time on leisure, or if they do, it's only after they've accomplished all that they need to do, or they do it once they've sacrificed in their business to get it to where it needs to be so that they have the margin to actually take that time. Spend your time wisely and put it to work by dreaming and planning. Rich people are constantly scheming, planning, and being curious about their operations. Make strategic and tactical planning your new video game, or gamify this thing. It's kind of like a video game, I'm telling you. Wealthy people and business owners that I know, they entertain themselves for hours by working on problems, thinking through plans, and then working at it. That's a big difference between business owners and self-employed people. Business owners want to conquer the game, right? So when other people are vegetating in front of a television or in front of their screen and just looking at Facebook, rich and successful entrepreneurs are reading productive books. They're listening to a speaker on an audiobook. They're problem solving, they're side hustling, they're training, they're planning, they're writing. They are learning, they put their time to work. So think about a video game, right? You're solving problems and puzzles for the most part. Make it a game to wrap your mind around problems and to map out strategic plans, write things down, do homework that you don't have to do, create business plans. Don't waste time and mental energy on wasteful leisure. Of course you need to relax. Of course you need to refuel. Of course you need margin. You need to turn it off. But to get rich, you should be writing down and making permanent your business plans and then tinkering with it and making it a game to constantly make it better. Spend your time becoming wise. If you have a family like me and you're a business owner and you're trying to grow and become like this true entrepreneur, you have to sacrifice, but put your family above the business. But realize that if you want to be rich, you need to utilize as much of your free time that is not dedicated to your family to thinking about your business and being productive. You know, I place a huge value on execution. In other words, execution is just getting things done. But strategic and tactical planning is tremendously important, and you shouldn't waste time. You should spend your time doing that because time is the only resource that's finite. And if you want to become rich, learn to redeem tons of your leisure time, you're sitting around your video game time, your Facebook time, from mindless entertainment to problem solving and business planning, and have fun with it. Even gaining new competencies, go get new licenses, figure something out. And that's huge, but you need margin time. Make sure you refuel, just don't waste too much of it. So that's a huge deal, right? Yeah. You cannot waste time with that. You need to put your mind towards upward and forward things like problem solving and planning. So here's the next thing, the 6th thing that you need to do to be rich. To be wealthy and a great business owner and to be effective, you'll need to develop your leadership and your management abilities. Leadership and management abilities. Your ability to create a business and develop this leverage we keep mentioning is hinging on your ability to be a great manager and a great leader. There's 2 different things there. Remember that E-Myth ladder that I talked about? You're going to be trying to assemble a team and resources and systems to accomplish work and build wealth for you, which means that you'll need the skills to accomplish that and become the type of person that other people want to follow. Wealthy people are entrepreneurs. They're not usually self-employed, and the difference is that they organize people with resources to accomplish the work, right? You can't leverage the entrepreneur ladder unless you've developed the management and leadership abilities to move the team along with you. You just can't do it. In order to be wealthy, you gotta be good at this. Management is accomplishing things with other people and other resources, right? Using people and resources to accomplish something. And leadership is influence. I think John Maxwell said it best. It's influencing people towards a preferential future, a compelling vision, and helping people move in the direction or want to influence. Leadership is influencing. Great leaders move people towards a compelling vision. So good leaders have great vision. To be a great leader, you need a compelling vision. And you need the integrity, love, and the types of skills to unleash people and make them want to be on the team alongside you. A great leader creates vision and manages properly so that everyone on the team comes to work to pursue the vision, and they like doing it. They choose to do it. They want to do it. If you want to be wealthy by utilizing other people's time and money to create profits for your own company, right? That whole math, you need to invest in your leadership and management. So listen to audiobooks by the greats. Here's some of my favorite out there. John Maxwell, Henry Cloud, Jim Collins, Ken Blanchard. There's a ton of other ones, but those are amazing ones. If you want to be rich, you will get there faster if you're a great leader and a great manager. So if you want to be great, be a great leader. If you want to create great leadership habits, you need to get perspective from other mentors. You need to read books, and that's super important. So number 7, the thing to do to be rich is to know that success comes from this little equation, okay? It's execution times persistence times continuous improvement. Execution times persistence times continuous improvement. So it's about getting things done, right? That's what execution is. But you got to do that persistently. Don't give up if it gets harder, if there's failure. And then just like becoming an amazing basketball player, you need coaching and feedback, graded feedback, drilling, analysis, and critiquing. You need to pursue continuous improvement in all areas of your life and in your business. If you want to work at these three, if you commit yourself to these 3 things, execution, persistence, and continuous improvement, you'll be acting like the rich. I'm telling you, the most successful people are pursuing those 3 things. Ray Kroc, the guy who took McDonald's from being like a high quality burger joint to being the largest restaurant in the universe, for crying out loud, put particular value on persistence. So he has this quote that I think is really compelling. He says, "Nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone can create omnipotence," is what he said. I wouldn't go that far, but if you want to be rich, that means that you need grit. You need persistence. You need to push through failure, rejection, depression, and fatigue. But notice that I'm saying that there's 3 things here, right? I think that it's not just persistence. That's not enough. You need to also have high levels of execution and persistency with continuous improvement. All 3 of those things I think are really important. Toyota has kind of famously embraced what's called this Kaizen principle, which is the method of continuous improvement that you'll see out there. Toyota, and then like the Lean Six Sigma movements should really be an eye-opener to us. The whole idea is to make incremental improvements no matter what. Always strive to get better at every moment. And that's helpful. So read about Kaizen. Take a look at what Toyota, the Elegant Solution book that's out there. If you want to be rich and you're building a business, you need to embrace this continuous improvement or Kaizen approach. It's going to be helpful. It's a super valuable thing I learned. And you got to get obsessed about improvements every year or every moment or every week or every period. So that's number 7. If you want to be rich, execute with persistence and pursue continuous improvement. Then here's number 8, right? If you want to get rich, if you want to build a great business, you need to get along with people. You have to get along with people. Life can be boiled down to 2 core things, right? How you relate to people and how you get things done. We all leave a wake as we go through life. Just like a boat leaves a wake as it travels across the water. That's a Henry Cloud thing. Henry Cloud is an author and a psychologist, and he suggests that as we go through life, we're leaving this wake behind us. On one side, it's how we leave people feeling or how we relate to people, and on the other side is how we accomplish tasks or get things done. There's two sides to it, and this is about becoming a great person. Richness here is sustained and often created at a faster rate when we're able to leave those around us feeling uplifted, good, and valued, and we get things done. So if you want to be truly rich, seek to have a great wake as you relate to people and get things done and go through life. Now for number 9, seek reality. Seek reality. Rich people seek reality. They're aware of reality. They don't live in a cocoon of nonsense. We need to fight our need for affirmation and seek out the true reality about how things are, ourselves and our businesses. Rich people push past bullcrap. What bullcrap am I talking about? Well, here's an example. The other day, my wife and I, we went out to eat, and the food and the service was no good. The owner comes over, and after we got done, he says, "So how was everything?" And we nicely were like, "Oh yeah, it was fine, it was good." We went on our way, right? We're not going back. And that owner thought things were fine. They are not. They missed the mark. That wasn't the truth. It's fine to have that occur and be ignorant, maybe if you're the waitress, but that restaurant owner, he wants to be rich. He needs to find out through the discovery processes and awareness exercise what's really going on, right? What was really his customer's experience. So that's my advice about how to get rich. You got to make sure that you're becoming more aware. You can do awareness exercises. There's a ton of different things that'll help you move upward and forward and know what people really think about you. But you got to get past your need for affirmation. You can't have thin skin. In fact, rich people will relentlessly pursue the truth about things and identify all the warts that need fixing in their life and their business. This means that a great business owner finds creative ways to get authentic client feedback. You got to think of new ways to do this. Or they survey people to get honest feedback about what they're really like. I did an awareness exercise once and it was incredible. It asked questions like, what's Rob like at his best? What's he like at his worst? What do his biggest critics say about him, even if you don't agree? And it was an anonymous survey. That helped me become aware of my reality. There's one thing that rich people know, it's that living in a bullcrap land isn't helpful and it certainly isn't profitable. So they're ruthless in their pursuit of the truth and they take complete ownership of everything that happens and they try to improve it. This is actually part of that continuous improvement side of things, but it's really classified as awareness or emotional intelligence, but becoming aware of what's going on in your life and in business. You shouldn't coddle yourself. You shouldn't allow yourself to stay unaware of how you leave people and how you get things done. Take an awareness exercise, get some books about emotional intelligence, and help yourself operate in reality when it comes to yourself and your business operations. So we got 2 more here. Number 10, avoid debt at all costs and only use it for calculated leverage to produce income. The rich people that I know, they use debt for appreciating assets and income producing like activity or assets. Debt is dumb. Rich people know that there are 2 types of people in this world, those that pay interest and those that earn interest. Rich people, all the folks that I know that are truly successful, they don't use debt stupidly. They only leverage themselves or borrow when they'll use it to produce more income. Poor people go into debt for like new furniture, big new house that they can't afford, vehicles that they don't need. There's a big difference between borrowing $10,000 for a boat versus borrowing $10,000 to get an excavator to transform your lawn service into a better business, or to borrow to get some sort of website or a system that you need, or to take on a little bit of leverage to hire somebody. There's a big difference between that and toys. If you want to be rich, get out of debt and stay there. That's a huge deal. Earn interest, don't pay interest. So here's the last thing that I've noticed that rich people do. They have this financial wisdom about them that they give, they save, they spend, and they embrace compounding interest. Give, save, spend, and embrace compound interest. Rich people, they don't spend everything that they have. They save 1%, they give 1% because it fills them up and it gives them joy, and they live on the rest. They control their spending, they